It's election season, so Spokane, here are 3 election things you should give a shit about this week. First is a bit of bad news and a heads up. Even if you turn your ballots in on time, they might not be counted. Local officials are warning that because of delays in the post office system, ballots dropped off the day of the election or even a little bit before might not be postmarked in time to be counted. They're recommending that instead of mailing your ballot, you put it in a ballot drop box, or you mail it by October 31st, which is a full 4 days before the election. It's pretty bad for democracy that we can't trust ballots mailed on time will be postmarked on time, but, gotta do what you gotta do to get that vote counted, right? Next up, it's campaign forum season. That means that every week there's a forum or 2 or 3 that you can tune into to find out more about the candidates running to represent you on Spokane City Council. This week, I hosted a candidate forum with a couple of other local journalists at the Spokane Public Library. It was on Thursday, so it's already happened, but you can watch a full recording of it on YouTube. There's also a forum this weekend, actually probably the most controversial forum of the campaign season. It's the Leftist Town Hall, featuring Sarah Dixit, who's running to represent District 1. This event is hosted by the local chapters of the Democratic Socialists and the Communist Party, which is what makes it so controversial. Originally, 2 candidates were invited and said yes, Dixit and Kate Tellis, who is running to represent District 2. Tellis backed out after some controversy over the poster, which featured the logos of the aforementioned parties. They thought there would be more groups involved, like the League of Women Voters, and I think just didn't expect there to be so much backlash to the involvement of the local Communist Party. Online, Republican groups are already posting about how they plan to show up at the forum and make their voices heard. Either way, there's free childcare and free food, so if you want to hear Dixit be quizzed on where she stands on leftist policies, might be an interesting watch. Other candidate forums coming up include the NAACP Candidate Forum, a Housing Choice Forum, and panel interviews on KSPS. And finally, this one's for all of you Spokane Valley listeners out there. I know you've been asking me to do a little bit more reporting on Spokane Valley, and I saw this story from the Spokesman Review about how some of your candidates are spreading misinformation to local businesses, and it's causing a bit of a headache for city staff. In Spokane Valley, there's this thing called the Sprague Avenue Preservation Project, which involves doing grind and overlay on asphalt on Sprague Avenue. Hahn and Nelson did a poll of businesses they said would be impacted by the preservation project, including by road closures that could make foot traffic to those businesses slower. But none of the 17 businesses that they polled are actually in the preservation project's boundaries, which has created a huge headache for city staff, who now have to go talk to a bunch of upset business owners who think that the road's being closed, but how the road isn't actually going to be closed in front of their business. And to make matters more interesting, city staff say there aren't going to be any lane closures at all, even in the areas that are impacted by the preservation project. Hahn and Nelson say that they think the city is misinforming people about where the boundaries actually are, and lying about the businesses that would be affected. It's kind of turned into a huge waste of city staff's time who have been answering phone calls and trying to proactively contact business owners. Anyways, that's 3 things you should give a shit about for election season, and stay tuned for more information as we've been posting highlights from our Spokane Spiciest Candidate Forum all over our pages so that we can get you a little taste of what the candidates were up to. Have a great weekend. Bye. Also, if you're looking for something to do next Friday, you can join me, other Range Media staff, city council candidates, and electeds on the Politicrawl, a politics-themed bar crawl to local bars downtown, all accessible by the Spokane City Line.